Okay, the video is going to talk about our review topics on circles, so you can do this work when I am gone on Friday, May 12th. Okay, so talking about this one is asking about the area. So area of a circle requires a formula. Area equals pi times radius squared. So all you need to know is the radius. So if we look at the circle, the radius is from the middle to the edge, so it would be 12. That's all you're going to do is you're going to multiply those two numbers, pi, which is a number, times radius, which is 12, and square it. If you do not want to put pi in the calculator, then you wouldn't put pi in the calculator. You would just put 12 squared in the calculator, and that would be 144, because 12 times 12 is 144. But you still have to write pi in the answer because it didn't go in the calculator. And then we put miles squared because this thing says miles. Now, if you did want a decimal estimate, okay, we can plug this into the calculator, 144 times pi, and then it would turn into 452.4 miles squared. All right, so these are your two final answers. This one is with pi, and this one is without pi. So not a decimal, decimal. Number 2, circumference. If you want to find the circumference of a circle, circumference equals 2 times pi times radius. Again, all you need is the radius. The radius is from the middle to the edge. So that's 5.2. So all you're going to multiply is 2 times pi times the radius, which is 5.2. Now, if you want to put this in the calculator without pi, don't put pi in the calculator. So what are you going to put into the calculator? You're just going to put 2 times 5.2. And that's 10.4. So we're going to put 10.4, but then we do put pi in the answer. Pi, and then it is kilometers. This one does not have a squared. Don't put a squared on it because circumference does not have squared. Now, if you want a decimal answer, like complete, it's already decimal partially, but we multiply with pi. So now you do put in the calculator with pi. 10.4 pi. Or 10.4 times pi, and it would turn into 32.7 kilometers. And it makes sense, right? Because the number 10, this is close to the number 10, and pi is 3.14. So when you multiply 10 times 3, you get close to 30. And that's why the answer is close to 30. All right, so for the bottom two, you guys should be able to do 3 and 4. Just be careful because they didn't show you the radius. Okay, so you need to cut this in half. This is 20. We don't want 20. We only want the radius. And you're doing number 3 just like number 1. And number 4 is just like number 2. Again, we only want half. So those are those first two. Okay, length. So these 4 are about length. I'll do the top 2 and you can do the bottom 2. Length of an arc. We've covered this before, but let's go over it. Because these are all central angles, right? We have a circle and the cuts are being made to the center where Z is, right? All of them are being cut to the center. Then they are the same degree. The arc is the same as the middle. The arc is the same as the central angle. So they're exactly the same. So I could put 108 on the inside. I could put 55 on the inside. And now we do need to find the rest. So I'm gonna zoom in. Okay, if I cut this circle in half.
Transition to period 7.
From X to V, let's cut that in half. And we hide the bottom of the circle. Then it means that these 3 add up to 180. So I am gonna subtract 180 minus 108 minus 55. And that answer is 17. So it means the 17 is the piece in the middle. So this one is 17. Okay, so we have 55. We have 17. We have 108. Now, if we repeat the same process, but now cut the circle in half from Y to W, so now if you cut this in half and you hide the bottom, then it means the top three pieces add up to 180. So you subtract them from 180. Subtract 17 and 108 from 180. 180 minus 108 minus 17. And we get 55. Okay, so this one would be 55. And for the last one, again, you can cut it from X to V and then hide the top. So it means these two pieces add up to 180, or you can just do the whole circle 360 and take away everything. And we should get 125. So now, if we look at the question, they said, how long is arc YU? So from the letter Y to the letter U. When it has two letters, you're going the shortest way, so you're just going to connect it. So we only want the 17 degrees. That's the one that we want. Okay, so the measure of YU is 17 degrees. But the question didn't ask for how many degrees. It asked for the length. So now that's a formula. In order to find the length, you are going to take the degree. So that would be 17 degrees because we only want this one. Times 2 times the radius. And I did not print how much the radius is. So we're going to improvise. The radius for this problem is 5 centimeters. So we're going to multiply it by 5, and it gets multiplied by pi, and then you divide it by 360. Now, the same thing at the top as the top questions. If you want this answer in terms of pi, you do not put pi in the calculator. So you want to put this in the calculator only, and then pi goes into the answer. So make sure you type it in with a fraction. 17 times 2 times 5, go down to the bottom, 360. And we should get 17 on top of 36. And then we bring pi into the answer and then centimeters. Okay, that is the answer with pi, in terms of pi. Now, if we want the answer in decimal form, then we plug that back into the calculator. You would plug this back into the calculator. 17 on top of 36 and put pi, multiply it with pi, and you should get, it's a very small number, 1.5 centimeters. Okay, this is the answer without pi, like with pi included in the answer, multiplied into the calculator, and the other one is in terms of pi. Okay, number 6, the radius, we will call it the same thing. So the radius will be 5 centimeters. And then for the bottom two, the radius will be 7 inches. And this one too. The radius will be 7 inches. Okay, so I'm gonna do 6. 6 is the last one that I'll do. The nice thing is that we already figured out all the degrees. So this is 108 because it's the same picture. This is 55. This is 17. This is 125. And this is 55 degrees. So then now we just need to find what is the measure. How many degrees is X, V, W? X, V, W. In order to keep that order, you are not allowed to go inside the circle. You can't do that. You got to stay on the edge. So I'm going to go around X and then V and W. So that means I need to add up these 4 pieces. Okay, 55 plus 17 plus 108 plus 55. And we get 235. And the formula says if you want to find the length, you need to do the degree, 235 times 2 times the radius. The radius is 5. Times pi and divided by 360. In the calculator, don't put pi first so that you can write it in terms of pi. So the green button, the one next to it, alpha, and then the button right next to it, 235 times 2 times 5 divided by 360. And you should get a very, it looks like a big fraction. 235 over 36. And then we put pi centimeters. Now, if we want a decimal, then you will write this into the calculator. 235 on top of 36, and then put pi, multiply with pi. And we should get 20.5 centimeters. Okay, so we have our answer in terms of pi, and then our decimal answer. So you guys should be able to do the bottom two exactly the same way. First, find all the pieces that you need. And for both of them, you're using a radius of 7. You're using the same formula as 5 and 6. Okay, for the last one is equations on circles. So for an equation of a circle, I'll write it at the bottom. We need x minus our horizontal value and square it, plus y minus the vertical value, close it and square it, and then it equals the radius squared. Okay, so that's what we're building. We're building that each and every single time. So from the picture, we have a picture of a circle. What do we need? We need the center. Where is the middle of this circle? Well, it's right there, but I need a coordinate. And that would be 4, comma, right? Because it's 4 to the right, and then up 6. We always start at 0, 0, and then we go right and up. And the radius, what is the radius? The radius is from the middle to the edge. So I'm just going to count. 1, 2, 3. So that's 3. The radius is 3. And now I can write my equation. My equation is x minus, put the first number, 4. Close it and square it, plus y minus, put the second number from the center, so 6. Close it and square it, and then it equals the radius squared. Okay, the radius is 3. If we square it, it's 3 squared. So you could put 3 squared, or 3 times 3 is 9. So you can put whatever number you want here. You can put 3, but you got to put an exponent on it, or you could write the number 9. Both of those are correct. So I'll just put 3 squared. Okay, you should be able to do number 10 on your own. Find the center, find the radius, and then build the equation. And for the bottom ones, it's exactly the same. Okay, x, and then we grab the center. So minus 12. Close it and square it. Y minus, grab the second value from the center, 5. Close it and square it. And at the end, the radius, 7 squared. Or you can erase this and put 49, because 7 times 7 is 49. Or you can leave it as 7 squared. Okay, so you should be able to finish the worksheet. And then there is an Alex assignment. I gave you one of these problems to do on Alex, one of these, and 2 of these. All right, that's it.